Welcome to Life with SCG. So we are up to part 2 of creating my wildlife pond habitat. I'm going to call it a bit of a resort in the end. So I realised after rewatching last week's video, I probably didn't explain a lot of it. I really just spoke about, keeping on digging and things like that. There was method to the madness. I did obviously want to have it a little bit deeper at the bottom because I do want to attract frogs, breeding, things like that. They do want the deeper water, obviously not too deep, and then I do need to go in with the stones and things like that so that they can get out. One thing I also realize is trying to figure out the native garden component. So I am going to change things up a little bit, go back in and a little bit more redesigning because I can. So I did go out this morning and picked out a lot of native plants because the nursery that I go to is only open till 2 p.m. today and won't be open tomorrow. So I've got a lot of plants. We'll see if I need more. Spent about $200, and as the title suggests, I am trying to do this on a budget. So far I've spent I think it was about $140 on the pump, about $100 on the liner, and about $40 or $50 on the foam spray stuff, which apparently, I don't really know, I've tried doing some research, isn't really good for the environment, but it was necessary, so it is what it is. And sorry about that. So anyway, let's just get cracking because I've got a big day ahead of me.
All right, so now we're going back in with another redesign, and obviously I need to get rid of some of those rocks and then getting rid of some of the sand on top and compacting it down again with some water, and then, just figure out what we're going to do next. So what's that? That's a bucket. Wonder what we're doing with them.
Okay, so I'm going to try and talk through a little bit about my plans for the garden. I did a bit of research and I don't actually know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try it anyway. A lot of the plants that I did pick up, I found on sale, a bit of a bargain, so they don't look the greatest at the moment. Hopefully I can bring them back to life, we'll see. But I am going to try and make a bit of a self-watering wicking style container. So there's a lot of different ideas out there that you can look up on YouTube. Pretty much the idea is that you have a bit of a reservoir of water at the bottom, and what I've got here, I've gone in and put a bit of an overflow in there, so that way if I do fill it up too much, it'll just overflow back out. Then I've got some cocoa coir, so I had this left over from other projects, so I figured that it would work. And I also have some Hessian bag as well, so I'll do 2 different styles, I guess, and see if it works. Being that they are native, they do like well-drained soils, so I don't know, it should work, hopefully. So the idea that I've gone with is pretty much just going to have some bricks at the bottom. That way it'll help support the cocoa coir. It'll pretty much go in. But now I have just realised that I probably need to make a split in that, because I've got a PVC pipe that I've cut a little bit of an angle on so that the water can go in for when I'm filling it. That'll go at the back. Yep, probably isn't going to look the greatest, but the native plants that I've chosen should hopefully cover it up basically, and it will also potentially give frogs more homes.
Okay, so going in with the planting, and then I've got some Bush Tucker, which is a Nutrog product. Love their range. I also use Sea Mungus, Go-Go Juice and Rooster Booster throughout my garden. Very beneficial. Next up, I will start going in with some more wood. So one thing to be really mindful of if you are in Western Australia is don't go scavenging wood locally. I used to do that, but there is something called shot hole borers, which are now devastating our native environments, and trees are just having to get culled left, right and centre because they are just, ravaging them pretty much. So I am now in a quarantine zone, so you can't move wood, in or out unless it's treated. So be mindful of that.
Okay, so that's sort of day one, and it's looking a bit of a shambles at the moment, but it's starting to come to life. And obviously I've gone in, tried, putting the plants on a little bit of tiers and things like that. We've got some scavolias, which fan flowers, bees love them, which that's the next part of this. I think it's mully, these ones, really pretty, lots of kangaroo paws, and obviously just creating, some depth and a lot of compact shrubs and things like that. So they will fill out nicely and hopefully cascade over and sort of hide a lot of buckets and things like that. So it's potentially not going to look the prettiest once I finish, hopefully tomorrow. And I'm just gonna have to have patience, which is something I struggle with, but we'll get there hopefully. See you tomorrow. Okay, so we're now up to day 2 of the second weekend, and I'm going to show you a little bit of the setup of the bog filtration because I need to really get onto it. What I've actually done is pre-drilled some holes and got my pieces together. Look, if you've seen my questionable use of tools previously, we don't need to see them again. If you're really interested in, bog filtration, understanding it a lot better, how it all works, how to put it together, please go over and see Kev at Oz Ponds. I'll link a couple of his good videos in the description. However, give you a bit of an idea, this is going to be where the water flows in, I guess, intake, and this hole down the bottom, which I need to put these into, that's going to basically end up being for drainage. So if I want to try and clean some of the gunk out of the bottom, I can just connect a hose pretty much to be able to drain it out. And then inside, what we're going to have is, I had this left over, so I'm using 20 mil just because it was laying around, and it's got some pre-drilled, not pre-drilled, I drilled holes in there, and it's pretty much just going to go in like that, and the water will spray into the bar, fill the bottom first, and then it will rise to the top. So I will go ahead and get the rest of this together, and hopefully it works. Part of the reason that actually got me inspired to create this little wildlife resort pond thing was when I was researching sort of natural alternatives to try and get rid of some pests in other parts of my gardens. I stumbled across a website that basically sold, different species of native insects and things like that over in Queensland, and you could essentially buy them, bring them over, and they would help combat certain types of pests. And I actually spoke to my dad about it, and he pointed out that's probably a bad idea for me because I'd probably end up with, swarms of wasps and things like that. So then I've stumbled down the rabbit hole of, just really trying to attract the native insects, wildlife and things like that, which will hopefully help, introduce other things to my garden and combat, the nasty. One of the things that I did stumble across was blue-banded bees, and they're amazing. So I had no idea that this species of bee existed, and they're blue. It's amazing. So they are found in Western Australia, and they're really beneficial to our environment. So they're what they call a buzz pollinator, which that's not what the honeybee does, and they're crucial for, helping farmers and things like that grow crops and whatnot. So going to try and make them a home and some nesting areas. So pretty much just got a couple of pots here because obviously trying to recycle what I've got around the house. And the idea is the blue-banded bees do like to nest in a clay-based soil. So got some clay here, got some bricky sand, just gonna mix, I think it's about 6 parts sand with 1 part of the clay. Mix it all together. You just fill your container, let it dry out a bit, put some holes in it for them to nest, and then we put them around the garden.
So some other fun facts, there are over 1,600 species of bees in Australia, and there's over 16 species of blue-banded bees throughout Australia. And I can't believe I didn't know about them until only recently. That's pretty insane. Hopefully I find one.
All right, so that was a bit of manual labour trying to mix that all together. Idea is you don't want it too wet, just pretty clumpy to be able to stuff your containers. I have misplaced my drill mixer, so yeah, a little bit of manual labour. So I will just go ahead and start filling this. Hopefully I've got enough. Otherwise there might be more manual labour. So pretty much just scooping it in. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do another batch. Make it, nice and tight. All right. Now we'll just let it dry a little bit, and I've probably only got enough in here to make one more, so I will go ahead and do that, and probably have to make some. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drain the pond again, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We'll go and water the garden at the same time using what's in there. And then we'll get stuck into sorting out the plumbing for the filtration, and I'll go in and put some more rocks in and things like that. So yeah, probably should have done that before, but anyway, we'll sort it out now, and yeah. Let's sort out these plants.
Alright, so after giving the plants a bit of a sprinkle, we've gone in with some rocks, and now we're trying to sort out the filtration. So I start off with a 20 mil out of the bog, and then it goes down to a 15 mil to connect to the pump. And I didn't have a connector, which was also the reason that I will need to go to Bunnings soon. So
nobody's probably going to believe me, but there was a bloody blue-banded bee in here already. I actually can't believe it. So by the time I could go get my phone, because it was on time lapse, I've lost it. It was definitely there, and yeah, I guess what they say is, if you build it, they will come. So I suppose I've just got to be patient again. And anyway, I've got a fair bit to do. I've been sitting here for about 10 minutes, seeing if it'll come back. It's got a really loud buzzing noise. So, the adrenaline's running. But yeah, anyway, I have a lot to do still. It's only about midday or 12:30, so should be sweet, but I need to go source some more rocks from somewhere. Needed a lot more than I anticipated, and the bog's got none yet, so I think I'm just gonna have to buy some cheap ones from Bunnings to fill that, because yeah, going out and scavenging takes a while. Oh, I hope my little mate comes back. So we're back from Bunnings, and I also stopped in at Mum and Dad's because Dad had a few more coffee rocks that I was able to acquire. And anyway, Bunnings was a bit of a mission because there was like every man and his dog there. Everyone must be out doing projects. weather's a little bit cooler today, so it probably makes sense before it heats up again. And yeah, just under $100 at Bunnings, and also got 2 more plants. So let's get cracking.
All right, so now we're back from Bunnings, and I got my little elbow joiner for the pump. There we go, we put it in. Filtration is now set up, and obviously now going in with some more rock. Filling it up a little bit, and then, oh, look at that swirl in action. Look at that. Look at that flow. It's not that strong. A bit time lapse, doing its tricks and stuff. And then, adding in a couple of the plants that I got from Bunnings, and then some more rocks again. And then we've got to obviously start filling up the bulk and whatnot. Oh, yeah, and I added some leaf litter. And, leaf litter is really good. So the leaf litter, obviously all the insects get in between that, and then they break it down. I don't know if anyone's watching this in the aquarium hobby, same stuff happens with, the leaves and botanicals, they call it, that you add to your aquariums. It's all a part of the biodiversity. So, yeah, and then now I'm just going in and just scooping out some of the water, because I've got to water some other plants in my garden over the other side. So, Yeah, so if you made it this far, feel free to give us a bit of a thumbs up. Bit of an Aussie way to say you did a bloody ripper job. And,
I'll tell you what, it has been a jam-packed weekend. And, yeah, look, it may have bitten off more than I can chew, which is pretty normal for me. But, yeah, look, I've got most of it done. Filter's running. And I've got my little Medaka babies in there, and look, most of it's done. Obviously I need to make it a little prettier over that side, probably more plants and things like that. I'll figure it out. I'll probably do another update in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully it will grow out, and I've been acclimating my OG mum and dad. So let's add them. I don't know, they look pretty stoked to be in their new little haven, and all I need now is my blue band of bees. Yeah, it didn't really think about all of this. See you soon.